I am Charlotte from Brown Deer Public Library. I am participating in Stay Home Reading Rush, April 16th to 19th. One of the prompts is to read a book in one room, so I picked the shortest book on my bookshelf. It is called Nathaniel Fludd, Beastologist, Book 1, Flight of the Phoenix. And we're going to practice judging a book by its cover. So this book, it's called Flight of the Phoenix, and there's a red feather, so I think that's a phoenix feather. There's a pencil, so I think that Nathaniel Fludd is going to be drawing a phoenix and maybe other mythological creatures. If you look really closely, there's palm trees in the back of this photograph, so I think there's going to be traveling. And then on the back cover, there are compass roses, and that's a dodo, which is an extinct bird. So maybe the dodo isn't actually extinct, and there's some being saved somewhere. And this counts as judging the cover too. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a book where they travel. It says Griesel's brother, platypus, Budapest. We get more information on this side. Aunt Phil in London. So they might be traveling all over the place. And since we're here, let's also read the first few pages. So it starts with Nathaniel Fludd drawing with suitcases in the corner. It was one of the most important moments in Nathaniel Fludd's young life, and he was stuck sitting in the corner. Miss Lumpton had promised him an overnight trip to the city to visit the zoo. Instead, he found himself in a stuffy office with their suitcases at his feet and his sketchbook in his lap. He'd been given clear instructions not to listen in on Miss Lumpton's conversation with the lawyer. The problem was, they only sat 3 feet away, and the lawyer spoke rather loudly. Nate tried to concentrate on his drawing. "Thank you for coming on such short notice," the lawyer said. Nate drummed his heels on one of the suitcases to try to drown out the sound of their voices. Miss Lumpton shushed him. "Shh." He stopped kicking. "You said you had news?" Miss Lumpton asked. The lawyer lowered his voice, and Nate felt as if his ears grew a bit, straining to hear. "We've had word from his parents." Nate's head jerked up. Miss Lumpton caught him looking. "Keep drawing," she ordered, then turned back to the lawyer. Nate kept his eyes glued to the sketchbook in front of him, but even though his pencil was moving dutifully on the paper, every molecule of his body was focused on the lawyer's words. On May 23rd of this year, the airship Italia crashed on the ice near the North Pole. Nate's pencil froze. His body felt hot, then cold. He hadn't even known his parents were on an airship. The lawyer continued. "After months of searching, only 8 of the 16 crew have been found. The boys' parents were not among them." Miss Lumpton put a hand to her throat. "So what does that mean exactly?" Her voice wobbled. "It means that, as of this day, September 5th, 1928, Horatio and Adele Fludd have been declared lost at sea." "I thought you said they crashed on the ice," Nate blurted out. Luckily, Miss Lumpton was too busy fishing for her handkerchief to notice he spoke out of turn. "Yes, well, technically the ice was frozen seawater," the lawyer said. "But either way, I'm afraid your parents aren't coming back." Miss Lumpton began to cry quietly. Nate hadn't seen his parents in more than 3 years. Of course, he'd missed them horribly when they first left. He'd been comforted only when they promised to send for him on his 8th birthday. "You need a little more time to grow up," his father had said. "When you're old enough to travel well and your sense of adventure has developed, we'll send for you then." Time had passed. On his 8th birthday, Nate had been excited but nervous too. He wasn't sure his love of adventure had shown up yet, but his parents' letter asking him to join them never showed up either. "Just as well," Miss Lumpton had sniffed. "Their job is much too important to have a youngster tagging along getting in the way." On his 9th birthday, Nate had been hopeful. Miss Lumpton told him not to be silly. His parents' work was much too dangerous for a young boy, especially a young boy like himself, one who liked quiet walks, reading, and drawing. Clearly he wasn't suited to a life of adventure. Nate was a little disappointed. He thought he had felt the smallest beginnings of an adventurous spark. By his 10th birthday, Nate had buried the memory of his parents and never took it out anymore. Much like a toy he'd outgrown, he told himself, but the truth was, thinking of them hurt too much. And now he would never see them again. Okay, so I have a lot of questions. What is his parents' job? By the cover, I think his parents are beastologists, and that's why their job is adventurous and dangerous, and maybe they were looking for a creature on the North Pole. I don't think they're really dead. That's my guess. Okay, have a wonderful day.